Good evening and welcome to the call. This is Admin Bill. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We have on board with us as hosts, we have Sunny Days and we have Blondie. And if I look hard enough, I'll probably see Bodie in here somewhere. Would you unmute yourself, Blondie, and make sure I'm being heard? The call is being recorded already.
I can hear you, Admin.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Super. And Sunny, you can hear me okay? Oh,
and I just see Bodie came on.
Okay, great. So Bodie, Sunny.
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, today is it is March the 14th, 2016. It is about 9:30 in the evening, Eastern Time. Again, thank you for joining us. The first thing I'd like to do is read our disclaimer. And it is the details that are included in the call are provided as basic information only. And while the WSOMN website hosts and call moderators and guest speakers strive to provide you the most up-to-date information possible, we make no representations of any kind revealed or suggested about the completeness, accuracy, dependability, viability, and accessibility of topics discussed and of the off-site links provided within the WSOMN website or WSOMN calls. The information provided is done so for informational purposes only. The owners, hosts, moderators, and guests pass on information that has been collected from a multitude of sources, some verified and some not. Always conduct your own research before investing or signing up for any items, services, etc. discussed or promoted on the WSOMN website or calls. And under no circumstances will WSOMN in any form be accountable for your personal or financial gains or losses and your decisions. End of disclaimer. Okay, let's get in here and see who we've got. All right, we're going to go ahead. I've got some people that are already got their hands raised up, but I want to go ahead and it's been an exciting day today, a very exciting day, with lots of information coming in. There have been group or some of our intelligence providers that have decided that they're going to end their run today for whatever reason and have checked out and probably checked in to an asylum to get some rest. I would be doing that too. I don't blame them. No, they're probably waiting on some information that they have heard may be coming this evening or tomorrow. So we will just wait and see. We will have some good people coming in, and we will listen to what they have to say. And I'm going to ask right now, Blondie, if you would, do you see any telephone numbers? Do you recognize that might be from some of our providers? I think we've got one in Tennessee there. I'm not sure if that's Wolfie or not.
I think that looks like Wolfie to me. Do you want me to unplug him?
Would you do that, please?
I would.
Thank you so much.
Wolfie, would that be you? Wolfie, I unmuted 423. But, Bill, I think that might not be him because he would come in with another designation.
Yeah, I think.
So,
it
you
was
want to take 423?
Well, 423, now that you're unmuted, do you have a question or something you'd like to say?
I had some questions, actually, and it was really just about the exchanges.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it might have been Martha that might have said something. I'm not sure if it was Blondie or whoever, but I didn't understand what a sweep account was. I kind of understood it when I first heard it about 2.5, 3 years ago, that basically you went in and did your exchange, and then at the same point in time, that same day, you swept everything from one account into another account. And I heard somebody say, and I thought it might have been Martha, that actually had to do with interest. And I was wondering if I was just missing something. And also, I'll add to that, a lot of us that were on the other calls, we got like extra phones, like for new phone numbers, and maybe even a off-site address. So we'd have our own box that wasn't our own home address. Is anybody still doing that type of thing? Is there any reason to do any of that thing? Those are basically my two questions.
Okay, the sweep bank account is not my area of expertise. The other subject that you talked about is more or less directed at your personal safety and your personal security.
Okay.
And that is going to be up to you and how you want to handle your own family matters and who do you want to know what you have or don't have. If you're going to be moving into a different area, different home, it may not matter, but all in all, you have to be wary of what's going on in your surroundings.
Okay.
And in the beginning, that was a real concern. I think now that people have learned that there's multimillionaires and billionaires and trillionaires that they have their security, but we all know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's how you handle the situation yourself and what you want people to know and what you don't want them to know. I think for the most part, what has been said is that you don't want to go out there like a lottery winner, so everybody knows what you have.
Right.
And because you'll have everybody and their brother on your front door wanting a piece of what you've got. I don't know how many people you have told that you have this investment, and that's your business and not anybody else's on here or anywhere else. So I suggest that you just follow your own conscience and follow what makes sense to you.
I got you.
Okay?
Okay.
Bill, it's Bodie. I can answer the sweep question.
Thank you, Bodie.
Thank you.
Okay. Back when you heard that from Tony about sweeping accounts, what he was referring to was to protect yourself, because when you put money into a bank, this is under old rules, okay? I'm explaining to you what Tony was talking about. You put money into the bank, you go in the next day, and you sweep it into a brand new account, and then you're closing out the original account. Because then you work out of those new accounts because there wouldn't be tracking of the money. Okay? That is a mute point right now because we're working under a whole new paradigm. So you don't have to worry about doing that. What Martha is referring to when she says she doesn't want the banks to sweep her account is whether you're going to use a non-interest-bearing account or an interest-bearing account. If you have an interest-bearing account, the banks sweep the money every night. That's how they make their money. They make like 1% per dollar per night. If you do non-interest-bearing, your money will not be swept. So it's just an added protection.
Okay. So is there a disadvantage to putting it in an interest-bearing and then having them sweep it every night? Is there a disadvantage to that?
I honestly can't. I'm going to say personal preference. I mean, I know I'm personally going to do the non-interest bearing, and I'm going to have the extra, make sure my money has the extra insurance on it until I set up my trust accounts. But I would just say that that's purely your personal preference. I mean, if you want to start making money on your money right away, go for it.
Thanks, Bodie.
Bodie?
Yes, Blondie, you're welcome, sir. Yes, Blondie.
Bodie, it seems to me that the last time this conversation was brought up about the insurance on a non-interest bearing versus interest bearing, there was some question left to that as to whether those non-interest bearing are really insured up to their actual account value, or if it's still under the $250,000 FDIC.
I believe
amount.
I believe they said that you're insured all the way up, but I'm going the extra. I am, I don't care if I have to pay for it myself. I'm making sure my money is protected under Lloyd's of London or Abbott Downing or one of those things. But that's my personal preference.
And is that that's something you can get right then and there? Is that insurance? Is that Lloyd's of London?
Yes, the best. Well, Lloyd's of London, I'm not sure. It's going to be whatever Wells Fargo. I know they have the Abbott Downing because they're owned by the same company, but that's something I know that can be taken care of at the time of the exchange, to the best of my knowledge.
Oh, great. Good. Thanks, Bodie.
You're welcome. I'm you now.
Thank you, Bodie. Appreciate that. And I'd like to recognize we have, two of our hosts that are doing double duty, I believe, for transcriptions. And I really appreciate that. That would be Emden and Sierra. Thank you very much. That is hard work. Now, I think... Blondie, is that 808 number down there? Do you see it? Is that somebody that I just saw it down there? And now I don't see it again. I was thinking, there it is.
I don't see.
Right there.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, you want me to bring him in?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. 808, would this be, does your name happen to begin with a Y? 808?
Hello?
808?
Hello? 808, do you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, 808, we can hear you. 808.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even raise my hand.
Did you have a question, sir?
Well, I guess this is Joseph. Aloha.
That's what we thought. Hi. Welcome.
Now,
we
hey,
spot
Joseph,
you now.
Joseph, this is Blondie. I just have to tell you now, the questions are going to get harder. The first one was, does your name begin with a Y?
Yes.
You fumbled the ball on that one, my friend.
Yeah.
Anyway,
as in,
just a joke
as
there.
In Yeshua,
Go right
Yeshua,
ahead.
As in Yeshua ben Yosef.
Yeah.
Son of, yeah. So.
Do you have some good information for us, Joseph?
I could.
Well, let's hear it then.
What would you like to know?
You know what? I think what the people need to know is what is happening, what you are hearing, and how it's going to affect them.
Okay. Is there anything specific that you'd like to know? I mean, I'm happy to answer. I just I don't want to start going off on tangents. I go off on tangents a lot. It's hard to reel me back in.
If we go on a tangent, I've got my fishing reel, and we'll just hook you back in.
Okay. All right. So we've progressed to the point through all the stops and starts, delays, redemption center staff quitting when the rates were posted, to diplomatic changes, government changes, to the point where, everything has been signed off on, and Wells Fargo is now going to release the 800 call center numbers. And that is going to happen. I am told before sunrise tomorrow morning.
Well,
and that's just kind of where we're at.
Okay. And I've heard basically the same thing. I'm talking to someone else, and he'll probably be in shortly. It's kind of a crazy time right now where we don't know what we already know, if you know what I mean. We have been told all this information, and yet at times it's pretty hard to believe, but yet it's there. It's coming out more and more every day. You've been bringing it out. Tank's been bringing it out. Other good people have been coming in and talking about it. Mm-hmm. And now it seems that it is finally coming together so that they've got their program all set up and ready to go, and now it's time.
I would say that is spot on accurate.
Well, that's excellent. Are you going to be listening to the call for a brief minute or a little bit longer in case we have some questions?
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I appreciate that.
Okay, guys. Be blessed.
Okay, thanks, Joseph.
I think Tank just came in.
The Tankster.
Good evening.
Good evening. So I've heard a bunch of things tonight, all of them very, very encouraging. I'm excited that Joseph is on the call. To be quite honest, I would personally prefer to just defer to him, because I feel that the best I can do, I'm just trying to support what he's saying, because I believe in his message. But I can say that I did hear tonight from various sources that, of course, we're all anticipating the 800 numbers. I think that expectation is something that is, for the first time, very much warranted. I think that everything has gone through in a way that we can, feel comfortable and confident that we're finally at that point. I know that 800 numbers are supposed to be released. I don't know how they're going to come out. I am suspicious that there's a possibility they could just show up on our site without anybody really allowing that to happen. I know that our board tonight was showing some signs of freezing, and I know that was a similar situation in some other sites as well. I did hear today something that I think is valuable and interesting that should probably pass on, that I know, I've heard this from a couple different sources, that some exchanges will be taking place on casinos or on the reservations. They're obviously perfect locations to do such exchanges, and I was able to confirm that there is exchange procedures that they were trained on, and that obviously that would be a perfect place to do an exchange, because they already have large amounts of cash. They already have their own vaults, essentially functioning as a bank. While being a bank, they're very glamorous, and you wouldn't stand out walking in or out with money. I was also told this tonight that I think will affect some people in rural areas, that if you are holding currency that will ultimately value above $1 billion, that you'll end up having to travel more. I guess people around large cities, large metropolis won't have that same problem. I will say I do think it's really paramount. It's funny, Joseph's online, so I feel like I repeat this a lot. Something he said is that this money is not going to make you happy suddenly if you're miserable. But I think it's really time to start considering where we're going and consider how you feel right now. Because whatever happens when this money comes in, it's just going to make you more what you already are. That's all I have for right now. I think we're right there, though.
May I ask a question?
If you say please, Bodie.
Please, may I ask a question? This is for somebody. This is for a member in the forum. I apologize. Yes, please. They would like to know if a body is definitely going to be making a speech and when. If somebody can answer that, please. Thank you.
It's my understanding that. Go ahead, Hank.
No. You go ahead.
Well, Iraq is 7 hours ahead of New York, so East Coast Standard Time. There's 7 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead Central, and 4 hours ahead on the West Coast. So the thinking is that his public comment about the international Iraqi currency will come sometime between morning prayer, between the two prayer sessions, morning and kind of midday prayer. So that could be anywhere from 3 to 5 in the morning from what I've been kind of doing the math about. But regardless of that, I think the more important thing than the actual timing of the announcement, which I know we're all very eager to know exactly the moment of when, is the United States government or the acting government has signed off on the sovereignty of Iraq. So in 2004, we illegally went in and occupied a foreign nation and captured it. And before the RV, all nations have to be returned to their sovereignty, their true sovereign, leadership, including the United States for that matter. And so just as the Pope signed off on the United States here in September to release it from its corporate control, so too did we have to sign off on Iraq and return it back to the Iraqi people. So that's a really beautiful thing. And it's my understanding, Tank, they had anywhere from 24 to 72 hours to successfully announce and release a new international currency once that happened, which my understanding was it was around midnight on Sunday night, which would be Monday morning, first thing Monday morning. So that I hope that answers the question. That's the range that we're looking at, plus the theory and kind of the diplomatic event. Oops. Hello.
And Tank,
Thank you, Joseph.
Are you seeing the same kind of flow in the release that Joseph is?
I'm sorry, Bill, can you repeat that?
Yes. Are you seeing the same kind of flow of the release of this revaluation that Joseph is seeing?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he just said is exactly the same report I've heard. I thought I saw it posted, but I didn't even make an effort to confirm it that I had heard that the announcement was actually made. But I'm prone to go with what Joseph's saying because I really didn't get a chance to confirm it. But that sounds exactly right to me, and it goes back to the same point. I think it's an amazing thing that we're just releasing Iraq to be their own sovereign nation, to be honest. So I think it's very exciting that we're finally there. And I know I did see a report released by the IMF, I believe, that actually talked about, all currencies worldwide being asset-backed. So when things like that are being released in the IMF, I think that's pretty. Joseph, is it that I saw the report? Is that accurate that we're there now? That all currencies worldwide are now asset-backed?
All currencies worldwide have been asset-backed since April of 2015. So the answer to your question, Tank, is yes. However, they've been working with it on the government trade screens and kind of the sovereign private banking screens. In a very select, few people in the world get to see those screens. You have to be approved, certified, and vetted in a way that allow you to see that. Now, some of us have been getting intel as to what the rates are on back screens. That's what we would constitute as back screens. And then, and so we knew that the currencies were gold back. I actually knew the currencies were gold back in August of 2014 when the treaties were signed. So, from a statistic, from a paper standpoint, legal standpoint, it's been almost 2 years. But from an actual technical, trading on screens with live rates and moving it up and down, that's been a little under a year. In fact, Tank, one of the more interesting things about this is from the time that they released the TRNs, which are the digital, United States currency, to the time they released the gold spot price in Shanghai and Russia and China announced their gold holdings, it will be almost exactly 1 year. So there has been a strategized 1 year rollout plan from the time they started the actual trading of gold-backed currencies to the time that they actually not only release the gold spot, but also they'll release those gold-backed currencies live on screens in a Forex type of public situation. So the time framing to me is interesting. That they basically planned it out for 1 year at this time to go. So all this speculation that we've been hearing of it's going to go tonight and it's going to go, 2 in the morning, and it's not that we weren't being responsible and predicting things, because it's kind of like a tornado watch. You see a funnel cloud, you better get in the basement. But in this particular situation, the Chinese had a very tactical and specific schedule set that they have been executing on specific day and times. And if anything was lagging behind, they would just go do the next thing and come back to the thing that they had missed. So they never really got off schedule.
That's like a wonderful confirmation. Bodie and I have been talking about this, that my understanding, and you tell me if I know you put a little bit of an article out there about this today, well, not specifically about this, you mentioned it, that a lot of the information that comes out will be like 90% true, and then there'll just be one part of it, 10% of it that is completely false, let's say, and then it sends people into a tizzy for whatever reason. And the way it looks to me, at least, I don't have this, no one told me this, but the way it looks to me is that some of that is very tactical, for our good, and some of it is, designed not for our good. And it seems like everything, in my opinion, right now, especially the date we're at, in the moment we're at in time, that all of this, although to us it looks like what's the delay and what's the problem, in reality, it's right on schedule, and this is always the plan, well, for a long time now, been the plan to come out just as it is.
Correct. And, a lot of the banking stuff people were getting, they were spot on. I mean, spot on. But the problem, the banking wasn't what was holding it up. There were diplomatic issues, and there were military issues. There were issues with the United States Republic, which a lot of people don't want to broach that subject. There were issues in Iraq too with corruption at the last moment. They've had issues with the redemption centers losing employees. So there's been a host of little things that contribute to the whole. And I think for Americans or people listening to this call here in North America or wherever you're listening to, I think the thing to keep in mind is this is a global event. So you're talking about 209 countries that have to be in alignment politically, monetarily, militarily, before the final go is given to everyone. It's not just a United States thing or an Iraqi thing. It's an Antigua thing, right? It's St. Croix. It's Belize. It's the Marshall Islands. It's England. It's France. It's all of us have to be in the same boat. And the reason for this is that's the mandate of the elders. Is everyone must go together or nobody goes. And I think as Americans we're very impatient just as a people because we're young in our culture and in our nation. But also, our rates are a lot higher than they are in other parts of the world because they want to kickstart our economy and put it right into the street through the general population. So we have reason to be anxious. There's a lot of money at stake for us, as a country to do this, and we need it desperately, as many countries do. So if you look at it in totality, you can be getting correct information and the RV still not go, and it has nothing to do with the information you're given.
Joseph, I got some reports on that were unique to me anyways on the banking level, which I understand that bankers, obviously, they were, for 6 months at least, I guess, reporting rates on the screen, which obviously, for most of us, we thought rates are on the screen, that means we're walking the door. Clearly, that hasn't been the case as of yet. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about is I got a report on Friday that the release were live, and they really seemed that on Friday they had already released the administrative hold. At least that was my understanding of what they're saying. Then today I got a report from an owner of a Tier 3 bank, and they confirmed it essentially, saying that they had the codes on Friday, and that on Saturday they could have conducted exchanges, but essentially they didn't have permission. Now, the way I took that is that, for a long time we would talk about, okay, well, this has to go through and codes have to go through, and so we're waiting on this to happen. And with that came this very dangerous anxiety, I think, that everyone felt. Like, if there's any problem with, like, if the payments didn't go through or they didn't activate the codes in the 72 hours, the impression I got was that, in fact, the codes have already been activated, and that now all we're waiting for literally is just permission it's okay to conduct a payment, which, if that's accurate, it would seem to me much more much more credence to where we're at, that everything is actually done. And being that it's done, now it's just up to us being allowed in, and I think that that makes it a lot less. I feel myself anxious if that's the case. So I'm just curious, is that about right? Am I looking at that right? Or?
Well, you've got it spot on. I mean, they were even doing helicopter drops at USN on roofs last night, I think, preparing for this. And and also, they've put the actual rates up on the front screen now of what they're going to allow people to redeem for. So, and some of those rates were a lot higher than what we initially thought or had been reporting, specifically with the ZIM. Now, I'm not going to get into the ZIM rate. I will just tell you, there is the possibility that it could be stunning, jaw-dropping. And I just want to prepare everybody's mind and heart for that, because for those of us that have, done the currencies a while and the ZIM specifically, it's quite a number to stomach. I'll just say that. In terms of your Tier 3 bank, all banks are reporting to Wells Fargo at this point, because Wells Fargo is functioning as the temporary United States Treasury for the New Republic. So an actual retail bank is working in concert with the government initially until, the public announcements are made about the government change, and then there'll be, a transition and a restaffing back to the Republic Treasury. And so, and the reason this is done is because the elders own Wells Fargo Bank here in the United States. And a lot of people don't know that. And that's why they were never heavy into the derivative problem as the other banks were. So when you go redeem with Wells Fargo and their subsidiaries, you're in good shape. But really, any bank that you redeem at is going to have a Wells Fargo presence in that all the banks are going to turn their money into Wells Fargo for a secondary rate, and they will be overseeing all the currency redemptions. It's someplace down the line.
Joseph, it's Bodie. May I ask you a question, please?
Bodie, you can ask me anything.
Well, thank you. And how are you? It's so good to hear you.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be with you again. I'm good.
My question is, when do you speculate that the announcement of a New Republic will come out? I know, like, the RV is the first domino. Is it still going to be a ways out?
Well, it can't be too far out. It's funny, the NDAs, everybody's so worried about these big NDAs and what you can't say and can't say, but the reality is nobody's going to try and keep you from speaking about, making hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, and your friends and family are doing the same thing. They just don't want you to talk about the rates and the intercontract stuff or do anything stupid like a movie or TV show about it. So I wouldn't be too worried about the NDAs. Now, with respect to the Republic, you can't have good fruit at the end of the tree if you have bad roots. So,
correct.
And this is a hard one for people that have just been looking at the financial aspect of the reset. They haven't been looking at the reset of the government, because just because you have this great reset and this financial windfall, if you have a toxic government and or a toxic banking system, you can't really hold on to it. So they had to change the roots of the tree out to bear fresh and good fruit. And so that is what we've been waiting on. It really hasn't been the banking. It's really been more about the politics and the military, to making sure that we had a safe and established leadership in place before they did release your 800 numbers, so that you not only could have this blessing and abundance, but you could keep it and have some security knowing that it would be in your possession for a long time to come, which, Bodie, goes back to your insurance. Do I insure my accounts, right? Interest-bearing, non-interest-bearing, Lloyd's of London, Alliance, where do I insure my nest egg? And the reality is you can insure it. You can ask the bank to insure it if you have enough. But just know, people, that when you go redeem your currency and you get the credits on the new system, not only are they gold backed, but there's a new government structure in place, and there's a global oversight to it that will ensure that if there's any shenanigans, your money not only will be protected, but it would be replaced in case of theft or loss. So there's already built-in insurance within the system, regardless of what bank you redeem at.
And one last question, if that's okay, everybody, but it's a question that'll help everybody, please. Thank you. In the past, we were always instructed, if you're going to set up a trust, do it with an outside professional. Don't do it with the attorneys within the bank. I'm under the impression, because we're under a new paradigm, Wells Fargo is going to be the lead as far as training people with the common law. So do you recommend setting the trust up with Wells Fargo?
Well, let me just answer that this way. I'm not a legal, tax, or investment professional as you traditionally understand them. However, given this particular system, I would recommend that everybody, as soon as they can, get your principal into a trust account of some sort, whether that be with the bank, on your own through counsel. You can even do your own trust online. It's really not that complicated a process. There's two things that you need to establish a trust account in the United States Bank. One is a copy of the trust with some sort of succession. Who would get the trust in case of death or accident or physical inability to perform the responsibilities of being the trustee. You have to have that notarized, have a witness on the signature, and you also need an EIN number, which is an employee identification number, which you can get online in about 5 minutes through the IRS website.
Right.
you need those two things to open a trust account. Now, you can use the bank trust attorneys to accomplish this, and I'm sure you can probably do it. I don't know if you can do it on site at the time of your exchange, but you could probably set up an appointment the next day or the next week to do it. And they would be more than happy to help you with that. But when you do that, just know you actually go into the trust of the bank. So the bank has a large kind of mass trust that holds all of the individual account holders. And when you go into a trust through a bank, you're actually going into the bank's trust. Versus if you were to do it on your own, you would be going into your own trust account. It's a little different. Now, granted, the banks are safe at this point because they've been cleaned out and we're resetting the system, so I wouldn't worry about it one way or the other at this point. But over time, you can always, revocable trust you can always change. So whatever you start with, you can always move into another scenario if you're advised that way through counsel. So there's a lot of different options, but what a trust does is it protects you in case, something happens to you when you walk out of the bank and you have all this new money, and if there's an accident or you get hit by a satellite or you get run over by a water buffalo, your money doesn't fall into probate, which is a taxable event. So it just basically transfers to the next trustee, and there's other advantages in terms of anonymity and ownership and some tax advantages too down the line too. But you've got to initially get everything in the trust. 90% of all funds are held in trust within the banking system. So wealthy people know this. Yeah. Actually, the trust system was created initially to avoid paying taxes for the wealthy, and they changed that I think in late 1960s. I think they changed that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and I will mute out so somebody else could ask you a question, and I really super appreciate it, Joseph. Thank you.
My pleasure. My honor.
Joseph, this is Bill, and I have a question for both you and Tank, and that is it's a twofold question. Number one, we have seen a significant increase in the price of oil in the last 2 weeks. And number two, there was an interesting announcement today, or it might have been yesterday, that President Putin is pulling troops out of Syria. Has that got any connection to what we're looking at?
Tank, you want to take this?
I really don't, Joseph. To be quite honest, in my opinion, there's so much going on right now that is almost, it's too much to absorb to, say what's taking place. And of the two of us, I guarantee you know better than I do. So I just am very comfortable deferring to you if you don't mind.
Well, I don't know that. I read your posts too, so I follow you, and you're getting wonderful, on the ground intel through the banking. So thank you for doing that. We've noticed. I'll just say that we've noticed you come way up at the end here. Cream rises, I guess. In terms of, Bill, your question, they're actually synonymous with one another. The oil prices were brought down to basically cripple the banks and take away all their energy sector derivatives, all their positions. They had made tremendous loans and reinsurance positions in the insurance industry in oil. I mean, it really was the petrodollar. It was steeped on crude and Brent oil. So when that hit, I think it was the mid-20s, it just destroyed it. I mean, it just destroyed the whole industry, and it was the final nail in the coffin of the cabal. Okay. Now, in terms of the Russian military, that's the same concept. The Russians went into Turkey to take out the oil profits and drug smuggling profits of the cabal in that area of the world, which was rife with that type of group that was literally harvesting as much natural resources as they could to keep the fire burning, to keep fighting the light from filling the space. And so when you see the Russian military leave and oil prices go up, it means that strategy of choking the cabal has been successful, and they're now basically returning back to more normal positions because the fight is over.
That's very interesting, and it kind of goes along exactly with what I was thinking. Except it's always nice to hear someone else reinforce your thought process. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it very much. I see there's, if you don't mind, there's somebody from St. Pete, 636 area code. I believe he's who wants to come in and say hello, so I'm going to bring him in now. Can you hear me, St. Pete? 636. Hello, Missouri.
That's the beep. That's the beepster.
I know it. He must be going to get a hamburger or something. Okay, we'll put him back.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Bill, I'm sorry. Somebody just hit me with a question from our forum for Joseph while you're bringing somebody on. Would that be okay if I asked it? Or?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Joseph, if you could talk about this, because I just heard about this last night, the connection between, I mean, obviously I understand to a certain extent that everybody goes or nobody goes. And I know that there's something that is relevant to Canada and the United States, particularly going at the same time. And somebody in our forum asked this question about the Royal Bank of Canada, I believe, the RBC, that they received information that they are, they received the exact same information that we did, which I was very encouraged by. From several sources actually told me that. And I guess I wanted to just check with you about one, if that's accurate, and if you could maybe discuss that connection and if that's pertinent to where we're at, because they very much seem to think, well, actually their report was almost identical to what we received here in the U.S. about receiving the code to release the administrative hold. And maybe if you could verify that and speak to it at any level that's, of value.
Okay, so the question is Canadian banks and U.S. banks, are they synced up and are they going together? Is that kind of it, or is it specific to Royal Canadian Bank?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you room to talk, but yeah.
Right. Well, the answer is yes, they are synced up. The answer is yes, the administrative hold has been lifted. The codes, the secondary codes that actually come out of Shenzhen were inserted into the system so that all administrative holds around the world were lifted at the same time. So there's a central processing supercomputer that runs the global monetary algorithm, and that algorithm is reset on a daily basis and reconfigured. And when it is, they either keep the hold or they release it. And so, in essence, the elders, even though they've given the approval for the RV and done the TRNs and they've done the audits on all the different currencies to get the new rates, the new post RV rates, they still have final say-so and authority on going, right? Because they still hold that code, and that code connects to every computer. So when you were hearing the pinging, remember the pings, the pre-advice pings that we were hearing from
Sure.
Shenzhen about the SIP system? Well, those pings were going back to mainland China. And every bank in the world was either signing up and saying we were ready and we're going to participate, or they were either not ready and or they were part of the cabal and they were never going to participate, which a few of those had to be dealt with as well. So, look, it's a digital world, right? I mean, you can live in a cloud, you can basically work from anywhere, and also you can control the global monetary flow, if you will, from anywhere in the world as well. And in this particular situation, the power has shifted from the west to the east, and it's their ball game. It's their court. It's their ball. And when they say it's time to play, we'll go play. And it's just a normal transition of power. It happens from time to time, and we just happen to be alive during the moment of the transition. And thankfully, a handful of us were paying enough attention to get into an arbitrage position with some of these currencies. But it's funny. People talk about the Big Short tank, and you should go see this movie. And these guys shorted the American mortgage market, housing market. Well, in reality, by you buying even a note of this currency or being gifted it, you've in essence made a bet on the entire financial system of the United States failing and collapsing. So that it would have to be reset, there would have to be new currency, there would have to be new value, and also you made a bet there would have to be new government. See, people made bets on the Republic and didn't even know it. That's how well hidden the Republic was. So I hope that answers the question.
Gentlemen, can we take a few questions of people with their hands up and see if they've got anything they might want to ask you? Are you open for that?
Sure. That's why I'm here, actually. Get your last questions in, guys. This is it.
Okay, that's it. Okay, let's go ahead and go with 281 in Houston. 281.
Yes. How are you?
I'm fine. You're always our first caller. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? That's the thing. It seems like everything is lining up. It's exciting to hear. I did have a question. From you guys' I guess, information that you have, there will be 1-800 numbers. That's my first question. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay, so then if that's the case, I know there are private groups, but the Internet group, will we all get the same 1-800 numbers, and are they all going to be given out at the same time?
The answer to that is yes. All the major banks will be covered with their own 800 number. However, we understand that Wells is controlling all of the call centers. So one entity will be giving out all the 800 numbers for all banks. But I want to offer you, ma'am, a bit of reassurance in terms of the process of making the appointment. It's as simple as calling an 800 number and ordering a pizza. I mean, it's really going to be that simple. And they'll get your zip code and how much currency you have and what denomination, and they'll set an appointment for you, and they'll give you an address and a code possibly, and you'll go and show up at that address with that information, and you'll go in and you'll do your business. It'll take no more than 30 minutes in most cases, and you'll be out.
Okay, so let me ask you, if you have family that has, currency, are we allowed to give them that number? Because I'm not in a group. I'm just with the Internet,
Right. Yeah, the answer is yes. They want you to have it. They want everybody not only to have it, they'd like to get everybody in and out within a 5 to 8 day period.
Okay.
Yeah, so they want you in the bank.
Okay.
It's not going to be. They're not going to hide it from people. It's when it's time to go, they're going to fully expose it either through email or on the internet, and then they are prepared for it's like a general admission kind of concert, right? Where the tickets all go on sale at the same time, and the first one at the gate can get in. I mean, it's
right.
It'll be a free for all, and they're trying to do it as orderly as possible because you got people making an amazing amount of money that they've never made before, and so there'll be a frenzy about it. So that's why they're doing a call system, because they're trying to stagger people coming into the bank, and if there's an area of concentration in one redemption center, they want to try and maybe spread that out a little bit to some other redemption centers that aren't getting as much call volume, with the zip code. They have ways of not only protecting you through your appointment times and staggering those out, but they also have security. Not only do they have security on site in the lobbies, in the parking lots, but they also have them in and around the exits of the freeways that you'll be coming off of.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, my last question is, so say, for instance, if you're with an internet group and maybe like your call or your site, the Winsome site, rather, and like the other sites, TNT site, maybe the Wing It or whatever, are these numbers going to be given to like each one of those persons and they tweet it out if you're on their list, or you know what I'm saying? How will we be receiving?
Right. Well, the same way you're getting this information about rates and dates and trusts and all this stuff. The 800 numbers will be, once they're put out, they will spread through the internet like wildfire. So as long as you're paying attention to those types of sites, you'll be fine. You won't miss it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Be at peace. You're going to find that this process is much easier than the work up to it.
Oh, really? I hope so. I mean, I'm not really afraid or anything, but it was just kind of like doubt as if we were going to get the 1-800 or 1-800 numbers or not, or if we would have to go to each site, and that's what I was a little concerned about. So I didn't know for sure,
Yeah,
but
any of the major dinar sites, any of the major websites will have it that do the blogs on a daily basis. This site will have it. If you're in the forums here, it'll spread very quickly.
Okay.
It'll be very. You'll order your pizza. You'll go pick it up. You'll come out with a deposit slip and a credit card, and you'll probably cry. You'll probably cry all the way home.
Yeah, I'm just trying to prepare myself, but I don't think you can ever be prepared when you've never had that amount of money. So I'm just trying to really, get myself ready. So it's gonna be really fun. I know that. So
get right with God, and you'll be fine with the money.
Oh yeah. I'm already planning for it. I'm not even really thinking about myself. I already got my plans laid out for others. So that was my whole goal anyway. So.
Well, praise God, and thank you for your question, and we'll go through it together.
Well, I hope we see this tomorrow or this week at least. I'm really praying that we do. So, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, 281. We're going to go to the caller now. That would be 649. 649. Are you there? 649.
649.
That you?
Wow. Okay, great. Yes. First of all, I'm offshore dock on the board, and I'm calling from New Zealand. And somebody there, if Blondie's listening, is #1 fan.
Yeah, oh, yes.
So we know who's who. Anyway, I have a couple of questions. One, since I'm here in New Zealand, and by the time that it's announced, everyone says that seems to be a relative degree of urgency in making an appointment. Would I be better off arriving in the U.S. and then calling for an appointment, or is that something that I should make an appointment from here, knowing when my flights should allow me to arrive back in the U.S.?
I would be making it from New Zealand as soon as you hear the news, and then hop on the first plane you can get. And get here.
Well, I have a different take on it, sir. You hold your currency in hand in New Zealand?
No, my currency's in Florida.
Oh, okay. Well, then you have to go home.
Yeah.
You can't change something have in hand.
Yeah, he has called in before, so that's why I knew that his currency was not in New Zealand. He has a couple of notes, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I do have some currency here.
And that was a question that you had before, that others have had as well. And I'll address this to both Tank and to Yosef, and that is simply, if you if you exchange a note, one note anywhere in the world, will you then be locked in to whatever rate you exchanged it for at another place in the world?
Yes, that was it. But wasn't also conditional on the idea that sorry.
Go ahead.
The contract rates were available, as I understand it, to the participating countries in the Gulf Conference. Is that correct?
That I heard that, but I don't know if they're the same contract rates. Different countries may have
New
different
Zealand,
rates.
I know, was one of those.
They were, as was Australia and several
so I
others.
guess my question is that maybe what I could do is check and find out what the rate is here, if it will be offered here within a timely fashion.
Did you call the Hong Kong banks as we suggested?
I've got an appointment to go in tomorrow to
Excellent.
speak with two different banks, so that's it's kind of talking to me. I'm not sure as of quite yet what exactly what their position will be. I just asked to speak with someone who could help me with foreign currency exchange, and so I'm to go in tomorrow. So
if you hear back and find out information, of course, if you haven't exchanged or on your way back, would you send a PM to Bondi and let her know what you found out?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to hear from you again. Take care now.
Yeah, absolutely. You as well. Thanks. Cheers.
No, number one fan that you just got a Blondie kiss sent your way.
He's duly impressed too.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I think he's collecting them, Blondie. All right.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Bill?
I said I think he's collecting them.
Okay.
All right.
It'll be worth a lot of money.
There you go. Okay, let's go next to area code 509 in Washington State. Let me unmute you. There you go. Go ahead.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I just have a question. I'm new in here. A really beautiful lady. She gave me as a gift, and I just started doing this, and I want to say thank you for all the help that you've been giving me. I go into your blog sites, and it kind of concerned me, and it shouldn't, because you said there's bad people and good people. And did you read anything about that Dr. Larry saying that he had a uncle in the Wells Fargo Bank, and this was all a lie, and nobody was trading, the Wells weren't trading, nobody was trading?
No, I did not read it. I don't know if anybody else did. But one person against a mini, I think I would go with the mini versus the one. And I think that's something that Tony used to say as well. My gosh, I'm turning into Tony. Not a bad thing.
Bill, can I jump into this for a second?
Please do.
Ma'am, what's your name?
My name's Paula.
Hi, Paula. I'm Yossi.
Hi. Hi, Yossi.
Hello. So, the question is how do we judge who's telling the truth and who's feeding us kind of a BS line on the internet? Oops.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
And the way that I've come to understand the internet is this way. If you look at, can we turn off the background? There's an echo. Somebody's got an echo.
Okay, let's see.
Paul, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, it's not you. Okay, so the way that I interpret the internet is this way, and it's really simple. If somebody is, you got a lot of background noise, Bill. Can we all mute out? Except Paula?
Yes.
Okay, Paula, you there? Okay. So the way
yes.
that I interpret the internet for anything, not just currency, but anything, because everything's on the internet, is if it unifies people, it's got a chance of being real, and if it looks to separate people from one another, it's probably not real. So if you look at the comment by that gentleman saying none of this is real, no good, it's just got that negative overtone to it. It's probably not truthful. And you've got. I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
So just whenever you look at the internet, just look at it for whether it unifies or separates in terms of its message. And, always double check, triple check things. Don't take anything at face value. If it feels somewhat true, if you have a sense that it might be good, kind of tuck it away in I need a couple more opinions before I start believing in that. But if you see something come off negative or angry, there are a lot of disinformation agents out there that are intentionally trying to make people uneasy about receiving this blessing.
Yes. Well, I just want to thank you guys. I've been listening to you since I got this as a gift. And, Joseph, you're just wonderful. You really are. And I feel bad that ISO's gone for his reasons. But I just want to say thank you to all you guys for keeping us updated and getting the truth out there.
You're welcome. And Iko's a good man. Iko's a good man.
Yes,
we're all doing the best we can for what we know.
I know you are. And
we all
are trying. Thank you so much, you guys, and you have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, and speaking of Iko, I just wanted to say I've done some texting with him today, and he's doing good. No worries about Iko. He's getting himself ready for what's coming, so you don't have to worry about him. He's great. Now let's go down here to, let's see, saw one in here. How about area code 269, Michigan? 269, Michigan.
Hello, Ed and Bill. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. Hello, Blondie. Hello, Tank, and hello, Joseph. Joseph, we spoke before, probably 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, and it's a pleasure to speak to you again, sir. My question is, when or is there going to be an announcement for the new asset-backed currency? I imagine people walking out with new currency the next day or so, that there would be some sort of announcement come out. Is there going to be something, and when, if you have any idea of that?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and it's a very logical question. However, from the point of view of those that are in position to disperse this, they actually think of it in opposite terms, meaning they want to get everybody redeemed quietly through internet sources, banking sources, email sources if you're in a private group, and they want to get all this currency, this bogus paper currency off the street before they ever announce a gold-backed currency or change the Forex or the gold spot. So I wouldn't really look for anything until third week, fourth week of April.
Okay. Will we walk out of the banks with any of the new currency?
It is my understanding that you will have access to anywhere from $7,500 to $9,500 that you can take home, which is interesting because at the end of the day, given the amounts that you'll be making, sir, it'll be more like a souvenir, like a ticket stub at a ball game or something, because it'll be history.
Sure. No, I definitely understand that point. But I guess what my greater question goes to is, am I going to receive, if I want, that whatever that new $100 bill that's whatever color, is that when I take that to my local retailer, are they going to ask, what kind of money is this? What kind of currency is this? I've never seen this before.
Well, yeah, but it'll say, the American government, and I'm sure retailers will be made aware of there's new currency out there. You have to understand, they change over the bills in the United States all the time, right? They're just all the same color is what it amounts to. So the color may change, but the actual, process will remain exactly the same, changing out one currency to another.
Okay, very good, very good. So, in your estimation, the announcement of the new republic and the currency will definitely come at a later date from now.
I do believe that. I don't know that they'll come together, but they will come after the RV. They have to set global value on an equal playing field before they create additional chaos with different governments and a whole new commodities spot price system out of Shanghai.
Very good, very good. Oh, that answers my question, Joseph. I, again, appreciate it very much. It's great to talk to you again. Thank you so much as well to you, sir, for all of your information on the board. I'm Chipster on the board, and it's just really great to talk to all of you. Thank you, Admin Bill, for the forum. Very much appreciated. And Blondie, you take care of yourself.
Admin, we can't hear you. Admin? Okay, you were muted, hon.
I muted myself. Well, that's probably good reason why you didn't hear me. Okay, well,
it's so easy to do, isn't it?
I know it. Thank you for covering me. 864, are you there in South Carolina?
Yes, I am. This is Sephora in South Carolina. How are you, Admin Bill? How are you, Blondie and Joseph?
I'm doing fine.
Hey, that's great. It's good to talk to Joseph. I heard him earlier on the call this afternoon.
Excellent.
For Chipster, I've got a piece of information that might help him. My sister was a cashier at Walmart and had one of the new $100 USNs in her hand. They accepted it, no problem. So that goes to what Joseph was saying.
Yeah, if they want to give one to me, they can.
Huh?
If they want to give one to me, I'll take it.
Well, she told me what it looked like. She took it about 2 to 3 weeks before she left there and went to another job. And she described it. I said, that's one of the new 100s. Because we've been in this investment for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say this. I've got info sources that keep coming to me. I don't go looking for them. They come to me.
Well, what are you hearing?
Let's just put it this way. Have you guys ever seen a dragon that's dancing around in joy? I've got a golden white imperial dragon dancing around in complete joy saying, finally, they got out of my way, they listened.
Excellent.
He's calling himself grandfather. I'm not arguing with him. I know better.
Good. So
he's been using a 1990s, 80s, 90s phrase. It's on like Donkey Kong for the last 3 or 4 days.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, my gosh. Donkey Kong.
Exactly.
That takes me back. All right.
Me too. He's been saying it's on like Donkey Kong. I finally got them to get out of my way.
Good.
So this has got to be the grandfather.
Right.
He's a white with gold imperial dragon. I recognize them.
Awesome. Well, very good. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that with us. And
I'm wondering if Joseph has got any contact like that himself.
Yeah, a couple.
So you understand what I'm talking about?
I do. I understand the whole dragon, the ancient history of the dragon as wisdom, 26 different branches of the family, and it's quite a thing to understand what they've done in preserving the wealth of the world for this time.
Yes,
it's
it is,
really,
Joseph.
It's really a magnificent test of endurance and patience and love. They truly love not just humanity, but they love the earth. They love the land. They love the air. They love the sea, and they sacrificed generations of their joy for this moment.
Yeah,
they have indeed.
They're a noble people.
Hundreds of thousands of years is what Grandfather told me. They've been playing this for more than 13 millennia.
Yeah. It's really an ancient battle between Atlantis and Lemuria.
I've been on both of them in past lives, so yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's dark versus light. It's the natives of the earth versus a species that isn't native to the earth. I mean, it's.
Mhm. And what's interesting is the Lemurians became the Druids.
Mhm. Among others, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Among others.
We need to move on to the next caller. I don't have a lot of time, and I want to get as many as we can get. Thank you for
not
calling
a problem, Edmundville. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, and appreciate it. What's your name on the board? Oh, what was your name?
I'm not on the board.
Okay.
I'm not on the board.
Okay.
Never had the chance to get in.
All right. Well,
Sephora.
That could change. Who knows? Well, thank you very much again.
Hey, thank you. I was trying to get in on the other call to talk to Joseph before, but never had the chance. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Meeting out, passing the talking stick.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's go to, real quick, 908. We want to try to limit our call time here, folks, so if you got a single question, that would be great. Go ahead.
Hi, I have a question for Joseph.
Go ahead.
Are we going to have to pay taxes if this happens this week? Do we still have to pay our income taxes in April?
Okay, I'm hearing two different questions. I'm hearing, are we going to pay taxes on the exchange?
Not the exchange.
So the second question would be, are we going to have to pay our income taxes by April 15th if this event happens before April 15th? Is that correct?
No, there was just the one question. Are we going to have to pay our income taxes if this happens this week for April 15th?
I would plan on paying your income taxes per usual. I would prepare it the same way you've been preparing it your whole life. And then at some point in time, that will be reconciled. Your tax bill over the course of your life will be reconciled through Nasara. So to answer your question, I would just go about business as usual and deal with the blessing in that manner when it comes. Let it come.
Okay. And then if the cabal has been neutralized, why are we still having chemtrails? Why are we still having the riots in Chicago and all the stuff going on around the world?
Well, there's a very high vibration that's starting to fill the planet, and it's causing a lot of disturbance in traditional structures and cultures and mechanisms. And some of that is very real. Some of it, refugee issues, some of those things are extremely real, and it's causing great discomfort to a variety of different countries. Some of it is ginned up and manufactured by the media, and it doesn't really exist. So you kind of have to take everything individually and determine its validity versus just accepting it as real and or just dismissing it as a false flag or another ridiculous media event.
Okay, well, the chemtrails are real. I see them every day.
Yes, but they've been greatly reduced. So they've been greatly reduced, and they're in the process of being eradicated.
Okay. And my last question for you is, are you familiar with this event? There's supposed to be a bright light coming from the galactic central sun and the inner Earth, and the veils are going to be coming down, or lifted, I should say.
Right. So.
And that's all supposed to happen at the same time with this financial event, that event.
Well, it's supposed to happen in coordination with the financial event. I don't think that it's supposed to happen exactly at the same moment.
Okay.
You know, think of it like, medicine. You know, you wouldn't give the top dosage of medicine to somebody right off the start. You'd slowly ease their system into it.
Okay.
And I think they're being very gentle with us in terms of what type of information they're giving us over a course of time, so we get adjusted.
Okay, but that is going to be happening at some point in time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you think the financial reset's a big deal, wait till the doozies that come out, in the near future. And it's going to keep coming too. It's not going to stop. So if you say, I can't handle any more of these changes, well, that's the wrong stance to take. It's wise not to hold on to any traditional belief too tightly, because you just never know what's going to come along and shatter that belief at this point.
Well, I think that's what you've been preparing us all for with your articles.
I've been trying like crazy. I hope so.
It's way more than just this financial. I mean, this other stuff coming is going to blow the socks off most people.
Yeah, most. And it's going to scare a lot of really good people, too. And my sensation has always been I'd rather tell people the truth, even if it shocks them or angers them initially, because I feel they deserve to know the truth, because the whole reason they're getting this kind of all at once, or even in this, staggered dosage, is because they've kept the truth from us for centuries.
Right.
In all areas, not just money,
No, everywhere. Every part of our life, we've been kept in the dark.
Yep.
Well, I feel you have shown up at this moment in time to be a guiding light to all of us, to take us out of the darkness. And I just want to thank you for all the information you have brought forth. Your articles are amazing, and I just can't thank you enough for all that you've shared and helped us through this last process to get over this hump.
Well, you're very kind, and I'm just a bridge to help, get you from one consciousness to another. And as Christ said, you will do far greater things than I. So I'm looking forward to see what everybody does, once they have the veil of scarcity and fear lifted from them financially. It should be really an exciting time.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. So thank you. I'll let somebody else answer or ask questions. So thank you.
Had set myself up to be on here for it, so we'll take one more question, and then if Yosef and Tank would just go ahead and wrap up with some comments, and then we'll close down this call for this evening. We appreciate everybody that's been on here. So we'll go ahead with the last caller, and we'll do this with somebody from Yosef's area, and that would be 808 Honolulu. 808.
808, is that me?
That's you.
Oh my gosh. Yosef. This is the big Buddha. How are you? Did I lose you?
Nope, you're here. I see where. Yosef.
Brother, how are you?
How goes it? Man, I just want to thank you for the timely message to the event.
Yes. I saw your post today, and I actually got your email, so I'll be responding in kind shortly here.
Well, I appreciate that. But I don't have any questions. I'm ready. We're excited. There's a lot of work to do, and just trying to get ourselves right. You know.
What's your sense? What's your sense on the islands? What's your sense of the energy that's coming? You know, you're in the heart chakra of the world. You know, so what's your sense? Share with the people what it's like in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, there's a term for the belly button. It's called the piko, and the piko is the original. I guess the original cells of creation. So Hawaii or Lemuria, whichever we want to look at it, is the piko of the planet. And what you're seeing in Hawaii, and I'm sure in other parts of the world, is just a spontaneous, simultaneous overflowing of love energy. And I think everybody perceives it differently. Just depends on where they're at. But that's where we're at right now. But I don't have too much to say. I wanted to just be on here to thank you.
Big Buddha, thank you very much for coming in and saying hello. We appreciate it. And I hope you're enjoying your nice temperatures out here. We'll send you some of our cold ones.
We could use that. Thank you very much. Thank you for the call. Thank you for everybody.
All right. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Okay.
Aloha.
Bon aloha.
Aloha.
Bon aloha.
All right. Tank, if you would come back in along with Joseph and any one of the mods that wants, our hosts that want to come in and say good night or share some parting thoughts, please do so. Now's the time.
I'm here right now. I'll say this. One is Big Buddha. Please contact me. Let me know if you got contacted by the healing source you needed to talk to. Sorry, I just want to make sure because I haven't talked to him in a while. I want to make sure to follow up. And I would say this. I can't really end with a closing comment because I have one more question. If it's possible, Joseph, in your closing comments, you can address this. I feel a sense of the responsibility to the people that are in the WSOMN group to ask this question. No one did, so I feel like somebody has to. My understanding is that as of right now, I believe you mentioned it earlier tonight, that we are in full expectancy to receive these 800 numbers, which in a sense is almost translated to most of us as our final opportunity that we've crossed that plane and we're able to kind of get this tremendous monkey off our back and be able to move forward with what we're supposed to be. So my question is, do you feel that we're in, because I've been, based on what I know, I feel that we're very much in a point where this is imminent and expecting that it will happen at any moment for days. But I have to say that tonight, tomorrow night, I feel like we're finally there. And I understand if you can't answer, but if you can, I really appreciate it. And I also understand if you can't. But if that's possible without jeopardizing the whole process, I'd really appreciate your thoughts on that. And those are all my closing comments.
So, who's this asking the question?
Tank. It's me, Bill.
Oh, was it? Okay. I couldn't understand that very well. You were kind of garbled.
I'm sorry.
I heard it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I got it, Bill. Tank, first of all, great work. Just yeoman's work on being on the battlefield and bringing forward a lot of really good information for people that truthful and honest and current and from all over different countries and places. So just a pat on your back for the work that you're doing. To answer your question about timing and where we're at, this is now my third hour today answering questions for people. And I don't usually give that much time about questions because a lot of times when I speak, I actually incite people to either purchase currency or and get them upset about things that are truthful, which I don't want to do either. However, at this late hour, I felt it important that I come on and people hear the serenity in my voice, the certainty in my conviction for what's going down tonight through tomorrow, and answer any last-minute questions for people in a very broad and general way to touch on as many topics as we can before people go in for redemptions tomorrow. I know the time that Wells Fargo has set to lift off. They've asked me not to share that, but they are open to me sharing other things because it helps calm people before you guys get to them. This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful experience. It's not going to be nearly as difficult as we've made it out to be. You're prepared. You've been on these calls. You've been reading. You've been studying. You've been thinking. You've been praying. You've been meditating. You've been researching. So please, if you're just even on this call or reading the transcript of this call, give yourself a little bit of credit in that you prepared for this test. And this test is a very short sprint. It's going to be probably a 30-minute sprint. It'll be within 20 miles of your house. Let me mute out the
Hank?
Sure.
This is Blondie, and I can't resist. I have a question. Are we going to church? Are we going to church in the morning for redemption? Are we going to the bank in the morning to exchange?
Yes, you're doing both, Blondie. You're doing both. That's the whole point of this.
And I will gladly do both. I will gladly do both.
Make no mistake, that word is common to both things. This is an opportunity. We have an opportunity to surrender before we have this wealth.
I'm moving out, admin, before you kick me out.
No, that was a great question. I'm still snickering there.
It's a transition, not a transaction, guys. It is a spiritual experience that has a physical banking transaction. But as the female caller said earlier in the call, the amount of blessing and mercy that's flowing into your life, into the plane of the planet, everywhere, every country, every race, every religion, every barn, every flower is going to feel the effects of this love in ways that go far beyond just having bigger bank accounts. And just be open to that love coming and recalibrating your every cell in your body, changing the way you look at the world, forgiving people that you held grudges against, because any kind of anger or negative baggage will not move forward. It will actually literally hinder you and keep you back, could even make you sick. So it's really important to start shedding old beliefs, like shedding old coats, or if we, shedding skin if we were an animal of some sort, or a butterfly that sheds its cocoon. We are evolving. We are ascending as a species, as a planet. It is dramatic. It will come quickly, and it will not stop.
Excellent. All right, Joseph and Tank, I think on that note, we will end the call. It's the perfect way to end it. I very much appreciate you both coming on tonight and sharing your knowledge and sharing your spirit with us. It was incredible. And thanks to all the callers that have come on and asked such great questions. we appreciate you as well. And to the members of the WSOMN website and our visitors here on the call, blessings to all of you. And let us hope and pray that the next day will bring us what we have been seeking on this journey for so long. Thanks again, guys. We appreciate you. Take care, Blondie, Sonny, and my sidekicks there, and the website, and our transcribers. Can't say enough about the great work you do. Thanks again. We'll call it a night. Take care to everybody, and let's see you on the flip side, hopefully with money in your banks. Good night.